hit your button there. There you go.
See, I done messed it up. Chairman Graham and Ranking Member Feinstein, senators, brothers, sisters, and friends. My name is Dr. Doug Logan, Jr. I serve as the president of Grimke Seminary and former pastor of Epiphany Fellowship in Camden, New Jersey. I serve now as a pastor in Richmond, Virginia, at a church called Remnant. I've been asked to talk about the policing and the use of force. And I come to you today not only as a black man, but also as a Christian clergyman who worked closely with Mayor Dana Red, my friend in the city of Camden, as I don't want to use the word defund, but I'll use revamp, reteam, and retool the police department for more effective policing and a more effective police force in the city of Camden in 2012, 2013, and 2014. I have lived in inner city for most of my life. Many Americans wouldn't drive through my Camden block after dark or my Patterson block in North Jersey after dark. I speak as someone who has not only observed great injustice, but also experienced them firsthand because of the color of my skin. In spite of all that, however, I speak today not as someone who was filled with rage, but someone who was filled with hope. I am hopeful that we can recover some common ground in this country, starting with a renewed understanding of justice. It must be a vision of justice and equitable treatment of all people who are worthy of dignity, respect, and fairness, having been created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And it must be a vision of justice built on a commitment of all people and their government to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Anything less than this will not provide us with the common ground needed to strive for justice and more than name only, yet I am significantly hopeful. I'm a preacher, so I got 3 points. I pray that we would listen, I pray that we would learn, and then I pray after listening, learning, we would legislate. I pray that we would listen to the cries, the shouts, the screams of black and brown people and many white people that are screaming on the streets for a new day and a new way and real justice and policies to be put in place. I am hopeful that we can reconnect such a vision of justice to our shared dream for a society that promises liberty and justice for all. It is clear from the cries in the streets that many of our nation's citizens do not feel they have equal access to these realities. In view of America's long history of racial injustice, that seems undoubtedly true. As a man who has grown up under the difficult circumstances of inner city America, I lived among what some would call the urban poor. I have been taught that racism is but one of the many problems facing impoverished minority communities, and anyone who blames everything just on racism, past or present, has failed to consider the complexities of those realities and frailties of the human soul. Yet I am hopeful. I am hopeful that we can restore the proper view of the police in our society and those who have been entrusted by and thus will be held accountable to God, the government, and the people. Theirs is entrusted stewardship, which comes with responsibility and greater accountability since they are permitted to use force to secure order and to keep the peace, yet without molesting or denying justice in the process. The police force is a necessary public servant to uphold justice in the midst of societal injustices, and should be an agent upholding the good for all people. Towards this end, let us consider the best statistical data wherever it is available to fairly evaluate the rates of police misconduct against minorities. But let us also listen to the stories of the people from the minority communities who almost invariably report statistically unqualifiable instances and bias. Simply put, the facts on the block aren't often recorded in any data. The cries of grandma, grandpa, and my friends and my cousins that we talk about in the barbershop often don't make it to statistical data we can do. So we've listened, we learned. Now I pray that after listening and learning, then we'll legislate. We'll listen to the cries, listen to the pain, listen to the problems, and legislate. If we listen to the people and learn from our cities, I believe we can have comprehensive improvements. I pray for the day for my 3 biracial sons and my Puerto Rican grandkids that as I was given the talk and told to hold the wheel right and do whatever you have to do to get home. My father told me, do whatever you have to do to get home. The best time to argue with a cop who's mistreating you is a mile down the road while you're alive. So I pray that the talk I'll have with my grandkids and great-grandkids won't be how to survive racist police, but it'll be the talk about in 2020 during a virus and riots that my country, the one I love, came up with wise and radical laws that made them safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend, very much. Mayor Carter. Are you there, Mayor?
Yes, I am. Chair Graham, Ranking Member Feinstein, Minnesota Senators Clovis